Episode 50.
Woo!
Episode 50. Celebrations. Celebrations to all.
What?
We made it. We made it to episode 50. We clawed our way here through blood, sweat, tears, glass, etc. It's been a journey.
All of that.
Actually, we're coming up on like a year almost here, aren't we? I want to say we're a few weeks away from being a full year. I'll need to check the date. I mean, when do we really start it? Was it like its inception where we started talking about it? Who knows? First episode, we should check and see if it's been a year since then. But it's been a journey, and it's been a fun one, and we've been happy to run it with you guys. And we love you guys. It's Two Fans, One Pod. I'm Alex. This is Brandon. We're going to keep things rolling. We're going to keep things rolling right through. This is going to be our last part. Part 3, part finale, closing arguments, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be our last round of schools that we want to take a second look at the transfer portal just because, and I know it's a little bit late because the portal's been closed for a minute, but some of these schools we felt were under the radar the same way our part 2 was, and wanted to dive a little bit deeper. Now, remember, I know those over-under on the wins in the season have been released during the regular season for all these schools.
Oh, yes.
So we are going to have that series still. But I think after talking with Brandon, I think we're going to rip a couple of episodes prepping you guys for the draft. We're about a month away from the draft here, month and a half. And I don't know, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of names being like thrown into the 10 spot. And then I'll see them on the 2 spot the next week. It's very confusing. And I love how this happens before the draft. This is like the most drama you'll find. I mean, Ruben Bain Jr. being criticized for his arm length. I mean, it's like the most absurd stuff you find. This is when you hear about it, you know? Last year, it was Shamar Stewart, I think, he only had like 4 or 5 sacks throughout his entire college career. And everyone was like, oh, we don't, he's never been able to produce real like crazy numbers. Like, I mean, that's what it is. It's all conversation. It's all theoretical. It's all hypothetical. So
a lot of critics coming out. Lots of
with a lot of yap,
really
a lot of yapping. By the way,
a lot of yap.
They just love doing it. Mel Kiper, the ultimate yapper of all time.
The ultimate yapper.
I mean, this guy who I don't even know who he is. No one really knows.
Christmas,
he's an enigma.
Everything.
He's an enigma who will just show up out of nowhere. Come like
he
March,
had that
April.
heart attack. You remember he had the heart attack about Shadira thing.
Oh.
The whole on the panel with it was. I think it was Joel. Was Joel Klatt?
It was Joel
one of the
Klatt.
ones on that. It was
had
him,
to
and
be.
I think Reese was on there too. And they were, dude, he was freaking out.
I don't know, man.
Insane.
He is really an enigma. It's so hard to describe this guy. He'll just show up out of nowhere, and ESPN is, I don't know. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows where he came from? But we're going to try to materialize all of those thoughts and what we believe. I think we're going to do a, top 10, top 5 wide receivers, maybe all the sexy position groups. We got to hit the running back.
The skill positions. Yeah.
Oh, the skill. That's what they call them. Cornerback room actually is pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie. The cornerback room is insane this upcoming draft. God, it's also Sunday. We never do this on a Sunday, also, by the way.
No.
For those of you guys
Unless
who
it's during the season.
Unless it's during the season. It's okay. Yes, offseason did not expect us to do this on a Sunday. I actually have my Sundays back now that football is completely gone to be able to do adult things. It's a give and take. And you do what you can. And you're happy about it. I do get the Sunday scaries pretty hard right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't know about you. But Sunday scaries are a real thing in my life.
It's
a real thing. Hopefully we get sponsored by one of those like meditation apps or something so I can actually try those and I'll have a reason to try it because right now I'm just not going to do it. But you know what we are going to do? We're going to go over these next few schools here. Okay, let's get on track, Brandon. You're distracting us. A school that I wholeheartedly believed was going to go at least to the semifinals of the college football playoff. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me how badly they were embarrassed against Oregon. It's still to this day, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, gosh, what was the quarterback's name? It's slipping my mind now. Baron Morton. It does not make any sense to me how that guy had played so adequate the whole season, decent reads, the RPOs, perfect, to go and just be complete garbage for 4 straight quarters. It just will never make sense to me. So kind of a bummer. They had a stacked defense. Okay, I'm just going to dive right in. They lost like some heavy hitters. They lost
Yeah.
potential. Joey Rodriguez, I mean, he won the Butt Kiss Award. Everyone knows he was the best linebacker in the country. I mean, he just is. He's a playmaker. I don't know how he's going to be rated in the current draft, but they also lost David Bailey. Did they not?
They lost David Bailey, I believe, Romello Height as well.
Romello Height. I mean, they have the heavy hitters, especially in the front seven. They lost. I'm looking over this list right now. Lee Hunter, D tackle, also Romello Height, yes, and Skylar Gill Howard. That is serious depth and talent in your front seven, and that is the one thing they had. Joey Rodriguez was the spearhead, but like when he wasn't having a good game, it was the backup linebacker. It was someone on that front seven was having a crazy game. And it even happened.
Insane.
I mean, David Bailey had himself a game against Oregon still. I mean, they had a great defensive showing, just could not get anything going on offense. It was such a bummer. Baron Morton obviously did not work out. Look who's coming into town. And I don't want to say journeyman, because Brendan Sorsby is not, I mean, he has such a weird story. I mean, to start the way he did and then to go through like kind of mediocre school, and now he's at Texas Tech. And he's being brought in as a 5-star, as a transfer portal 5-star. Okay, so this kid has hype. He's obviously shown talent. He had a great season last year at Cincinnati. He was at Indiana before then, I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, he has experience under his belt. One thing he has is experience, and he had some great, amazing games. Cincinnati. The one thing you and I noticed about Cincinnati, they have no defense all season. They had no defense whatsoever. They would be in these brawls that would end up going into 30s and 40s, and that's how they would end up winning games, is they would just win on offense. That is your typical Big 12 kind of like mold. That's the mold that the Big 12 has been taught upon some of these schools. Now he's going to a school that has completely changed the game. So from what I did a little bit of digging. Okay, this guy James Blanchard. You heard this name before? James Blanchard is the GM of the Texas Tech Red Raiders football. Not every school has a GM for football. A lot of them are, they're kind of establishing that role because of the nature of how NIL has changed the game and everything. You need to have someone who is in charge of the money and understands like how you're shifting the money around. So that's what they do. They have a GM. They call it a GM. James Blanchard apparently has exclusive rights on picking who they pick up from the transfer portal. Did you know that?
I've heard that too.
Joey McGuire has no clue who's coming into town.
Yeah,
he has no clue. He gets handed a roster, and they say, hey, by the way, here's your roster. You figure out your depth chart. You figure out what you need to do. These are your pieces that you need to work with. And you know what he did with that last season? He went 11-1. And he won the Big 12. And on top of that, I mean, they got a bye in the freaking playoffs. So there's not a problem with that dynamic. If you want to have that scheme of like, let me take care of the players. I'm going to pick the players based on what I know and what I see in this program. And then you're going to develop them. You're going to put them in the right position to succeed. It worked. I'm not going to complain. It's a great system. And he has this crazy staff behind him. He has this staff. Sheil Wood, who was... Sheil Wood was the, he was a defensive coordinator somewhere else in the Big 12. Great defensive coordinator. Sheil Wood he is so incredibly like nifty with how he plays defense, with how he organizes defense. And go figure, their front seven was terrifying. All they did in the transfer portal, was pick up front seven. I mean, I see D lineman, edge, linebacker, D lineman, linebacker. I mean, they went heavy on that front seven, and it makes sense. So they filled the pieces. The question is, okay, cool. They were able to fill the pieces from last season. They put it on paper. They showed. And they didn't just beat teams. I mean, they were destroying teams in the Big 12. Forget the last game against Oregon. I mean, call it a fluke, call it whatever you want. Baron Morton choking, whatever it was, just was not it. They were dominating teams up until that point. They're going to do the same. They're going to do the same. I have no doubt in my mind that this team will win the Big 12. And I haven't even checked it. If I want to go check my betting app, I promise you they are the heavy favorite to win the Big 12 because no other team is doing that in this. I just remembered Sheil Wood was the defensive coordinator for Houston. So, I don't know. Tell me, what are your thoughts? Talk to me. Texas Tech.
I think they did a really good job in this portal because They didn't really need to address well, the things that they did need to address on offense, the quarterback and the wide receiver room, they were able to do it, and they did it really well. They got Simmons from Auburn, and they got Brandon Sorsby from Cincinnati. That's huge. That's an upgrade at the quarterback position. Malcolm Simmons is a great SE. He was a really good receiver. There's a reason why he was over at Auburn. One of the better receivers in the transfer portal. So I think you upgraded on that end. You still have the same running back room, which was like kind of the heart and soul of that offense. So it was really just an upgrade on the offensive side of the ball. Now, the defensive side of the ball, that's where the questions come in. Are they going to be able to replicate the same kind of impact and performance and just wreak havoc the way that they did this past offseason or the past season? I don't know. We'll have to see, but they did a really good job of addressing it in the portal. I completely agree with you on the fact that this team is going to make a similar run, if not a better run, this coming year. I think the only thing that they don't need to worry about anything in the Big 12, but maybe the one thing that they do need to worry about is once they get in the playoffs, those Big 10 teams and those SEC teams that they might match up against, because those are going to be a headache regardless. But they did a really good job, honestly. Like this portal, they didn't lose much either. They were able to keep their main guys, Jacoby Williams and Cameron Dickey. I mean, both of those guys are sophomores too, so like they're similar to Indiana in the sense where they really did attack the portal heavy, and that's kind of a big emphasis that you know they put a big emphasis on that, and that was a key to their success this past season. But where they differ from Indiana is they were also able to bring in a lot of high school recruits. They have more of a tradition and a history than Indiana, so I guess that did help them out a bit when it comes to that. And I mean, a lot of their impact players are young. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned, both of their running backs were sophomores this past season, and they're going into their junior year. So they hit the portal hard, and they got a great young group already on the roster. They were one of those teams too that didn't really lose much. Like I think they had 21 outgoing transfers. Like I mentioned, a lot of those guys, like they didn't really, maybe fit on the team, or they weren't really having an impact on the team. They didn't lose anybody impactful. All the impactful guys that they lost went to the draft. That's just the nature of the game. You can't keep, Jacob Rodriguez forever. I wish you could, because he's so much fun to watch.
He was
But
so good.
he's so good. But yeah, no, like you said, I mean, they really focused on the front seven, and they got a bunch of 4-star guys there. So I think, yeah, they should be in a similar position. I mean, the offense should be better than last year. I could see the defense taking a slight dip, but overall, I mean, dude, they're gonna win the Big 12. Like we know
Dude,
this.
and it's one of those schools, like in Lubbock, I think everyone recognizes this school as having like one of the best not only coaching staffs, but one of the best facilities like in the country. I mean, so far beyond advanced some of these other schools, like it's actually just unfair. And it's Lubbock.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. Oh my God, how good is Texas food over there? I can't even imagine. It's got to be the easiest sell for these kids. It's the easiest sell. And no one ever speaks ill of Lubbock. So I don't know. We got to go to a Texas Tech game, by the way, unrelated.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be crazy.
That would be a lot of fun. I would love to do that. That's your Big 12 team. I got Miami. That's my second team. They're your second team. I can
If
tell
there was
you love
ever,
this
if
squad.
I do, well, they're a wagon. They really were. They took care of me this season, so they became one of my favorites.
They played
pretty
your brand
quick.
of football.
And they play your brand exactly. They just win on defense. That's what it was, and they'll run the ball. I'm really excited. I'm just excited to watch the team, and who knows? Maybe we'll watch them in person this couple of season. That would be fun.
I would love to.
Okay, let's head to the next school. This is still in the Big 12. This is one of the schools. I wanted to go over Oklahoma State real quick. Oklahoma State, it's kind of the same thing, it sounds like, that happened with, Penn State and Iowa State, where basically they're bringing over the entire Iowa State roster. I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing a lot of heavy hitter names from North Texas, including their starting quarterback, Drew Mestemaker, who had a hell of a season. I think he was the leader in yards per attempt and also total yards, I want to say. Maybe even completions. I mean, crazy season. Had a crazy, crazy season. Obviously, offensive-minded, knows what he's doing. Eric Morris, now head coach for Oklahoma State. Excuse me. A lot of the names I see coming in are still offensively geared. The biggest names coming in. So it looks like what he wants to do is he wants to test how his offense does in a better conference. And the Big 12 is not really a conference that is going to put up a crazy fight, is it not? If this is if gosh, if there was a conference that you want to test out his offense in, this is the one to do it. So Oklahoma State, the biggest losses, I got a few defensive players they're losing. It's what I was told is that 64 total players are leaving the program. And I think it's just Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is kind of, I mean, no disrespect to any of the players, but once they got rid of Mike Gundy, the season was total scrap, and they knew that this was going to happen to the program. I mean, Penn State really, I mean, I'm looking at this from the same lens that I am with Penn State. It's like, okay, cool. And I think a lot of the country is too. I even look at 24/7 Sports. They are almost identical in the transfer ranking score between the two schools because they're literally going through the same thing. I just think that Oklahoma State is going to have an easier time because it's the Big 12. You're bringing a very experienced quarterback, an excellent experienced quarterback, into a conference that's not really big on defense. I don't see this being as
a great point.
A bad move whatsoever. Like the number of transfers you have coming in that are offensively geared. I mean, it's all the big names are offense. That's it.
Yep.
So they're really committing to it. I think it's going to play out well. You're going to get shootouts. I mean, it is what it is. North Texas was in plenty of shootouts last season, but they scored more most of the time. It's just what it was.
It's going to be a lot of fun. This is like you're saying. Yeah. Didn't mean to cut you off, but it's going to be such an offensive shootout. The games that they have. I mean, they got 4-star wide receivers, I believe. And then they also got Caleb Hawkins, like the running back from North Texas. Like they not only did they get a lot of the guys that Eric Morris is familiar with from his old school, but they got a bunch of guys that are really legit on the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, I don't know if you had more to say, but yeah, this school is it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be a lot of offense. I think it's going to look really similar to North Texas, but it's just going to be in the Big 12. I love what you said about like the fact that they're in the Big 12 and have that kind of, and like they have a coach now with that play style. I mean, it's going to be perfect. They're going to fit in just right. It's going to be a seamless transition for them. I mean, they got their guys. They really do. The defensive side of the ball, I don't know how great it's going to be. But it's going to be fun to watch. And like you said, it's a brand new roster. They lost 66 guys, like you were saying. And I think they brought in like 50 something. So like, this is a complete overhaul. It's going to be a brand new team. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch this team. I love my offense.
Yeah. I mean, Eric Morris, that's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to go on too much of a sidebar here, but realistically, is the move now, is that the strat? Is to find like one of those low key head coaches that's just chilling in like the group of five, and it's a guy who knows how to win games, and that's it. Like, is that the better investment right now? Is just someone who has wins on his record?
I think that's definitely what they're looking for. But the thing that set apart Eric Morris is 100% he was dominating winning games in that conference or in the group of five. But he also, I mean, he developed his quarterback into one of the highest, he was a 5-star transfer portal guy. So that says something. I think he like didn't play football till like his senior year of like high school. Like he was on the bench and then like didn't really get recruited at all. So you're able to develop guys like that. I mean, this was a huge hire for Oklahoma State. They killed it. I really think they, I don't think that they were like, considering the fact that like how crazy the coaching carousel was and all these big name schools that had that, opening. They really got a great one. I think they got a great hire. They're in a good spot for the next couple of years.
Yeah. I am happy for them. I mean, it has to be better. I know the thing is Mike Gundy is like, I don't know. It was during the time when the BCS was a thing. So he got kind of snubbed from any chance of having a championship, but he could have had a national championship under his belt. He's a great coach, and he had a lot of winning seasons at Oklahoma State. It's just because of the tail end and the nature of how college football was changing. Like, I think it was just like, hey, let's go out with the old and with the new. So Eric Morris, kind of this bright, shiny new toy in college football, where he has like top 5 in like every offensive category with his team. Mm-hmm. So of course, like Oklahoma State is like salivating at the thought of that. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go back to Texas actually, and we're gonna go into the SEC. They're I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about Texas A&M for the 2026 season.
Was that their window?
I
Did
don't
they like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like 2025 was their moment. Was it not? And they kind of squandered it a little bit. Um with how they lost to Miami at home, it was almost embarrassing. I know that Casey Concepcion is gone, right? Can we
Yep.
confirm that
Yep. He's gone.
he
Yep.
declared for the draft. They bring in Isaiah Horton, pretty
Mhm.
much just they want to fill that position. Sure, they have a great pickup. Isaiah Horton is an amazing wide receiver. It's excellent wide receiver. On top of that, they got a couple of defensive guys. Notable defensive guys, and then also some offensive linemen, notable offensive linemen. So I don't know. I don't really know what to think about Mike Elko's team. Mike Elko really is the question for me because he is, I'm not going to lie to you, he's kind of a guy who is, I have a lot of respect for him, don't get me wrong, but he kind of plays into a lot of the drama that surrounds him and stuff. And he's kind of I don't know what to think of him. As far as head coach goes, I know that he obviously knows how to win games. I've seen him win games. I saw him down by like how many points were they down by against South Carolina, and they came back in that game.
That was
It was
a
crazy.
classic.
It
That
was
was
a
one of those
doozy.
games. That's
It was
gonna,
we
yeah,
called
yeah,
we call those kinds
yeah.
of games a doozy back in my day. You know, it's a doozy how he lost that game. It's insane to me that South Carolina
Yeah.
lost, but they still. Mike Elko he's a proven head coach, and to do that in the SEC is like historic what he did. And then you put up 3 points at home in the playoffs. So then for me, it's like, okay. And then we started looking at maybe is it a quarterback issue? An underperformance on quarterback. Is that, I mean, what happens now? You've kind of changed the positions. You put positions back in to fill the void of players that you've lost. Is that going to get you the wins? The important wins? Is that going to get you to the SEC championship? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Texas A&M kind of snubbed a couple of times. They still ended up getting to the playoffs, and they didn't produce. So Texas A&M for me is still, I'm going to say it, they're still fraudulent. I don't care that you had an 11-1 season, whatever it was. The way that your season ended is all they're going to care about. It's the same way as Alabama, is it not? Mm-hmm. Alabama, a little bit fraudulent, guys. They were. We look at it now, and we're like, yeah, they 100% were. Look at this from the same lens. So we're going to talk about this later in the season. I don't want to go too much into this, but for me, I do not have faith that them addressing the portal, their gaps in the portal by just doing a one-to-one, hey, let's do this. I wanted to see something major. I wanted to see something insane. And I don't feel like I saw that from A&M, so my hopes are going to remain exactly how they were, which is average. Sure. I'd say average. They're going to have an average season. I would say that they might have like even a 9-win season. I could see them having a 9-win season. Anyway, we'll get into that later on another episode.
Yeah, I know that they got I think the line was at 8.5 or something, and I don't think they hit that. I think they lost way too much, and I don't think they did a good job of addressing it in the portal. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. They lost Cassius Howell. They lost Torian York. They lost Will Lee. A lot of the guys that were kind of the heart and soul of that defense is gone, and the players that they filled those holes with through the portal, they're good players, but I don't think they're going to have the same impact that those guys had, if I'm just going to be honest. And yeah, Marcel Reed is coming back, which is huge, but you lost Le'Veon Moss. You lost Theo, the tight end. KC Concepcion is gone. They brought in Isaiah Horton, which is nice. I don't know. I think that the transfer portal guys that they got, like they're not going to be, they're more so those guys that are going to fill in the gaps. I don't know if they're going to have as impactful as of a presence that these guys that are leaving just had. I think they brought in like around 18 guys, something like that through the portal. They lost around that same amount too. And then they also lost guys to the draft. I think that they're going to be reliant on their recruiting classes and their freshmen and their sophomores, but I don't see that, I don't see those players really, it's tough to be a freshman and a sophomore and have an impact in a conference like the SEC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think they have those kinds of guys that are going to be able to make an immediate impact like, teams like Ohio State might have, Chris Henry Jr. And I know that they have this one dude, Legend Bay, that's like everybody's going crazy about. And I think in the Big Ten, it's a different story. It's, maybe it's just Ohio State, but I just don't see A&M. I don't see them replicating the success that they had this past year. I just really don't see it. They lost a lot of impact guys. I don't think they did a good enough job in the portal. They got some O linemen from the SEC, which is huge, but on the defensive side of the ball, I really don't see anything too crazy. They got some guys from Colorado. They're starters from over there, but Colorado's defense, I mean, you and me both saw how abysmal that was. No knock on those guys. I know that their safety, Colorado safety was, he's definitely an athletic guy and he's definitely can play, but we'll see, man. I know that they got the corner from Tennessee as well, Ricky Gibson. So that's going to be like the guy that they hope is going to be able to replace Willie III and have that same kind of impact and presence that he had. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting season for A&M. It really is. It's tough. Like I said, I really think that last year was their window. Last year was that squad was insane.
I love how we're both on like the anti A&M train. Well, we're not anti A&M. We're not anti A&M. Why can't I say that? A&M.
Anti A&M. Yeah.
Anti A&M. It's not even that we are. It's just like
no.
I have no faith. I just don't have faith in that staff to like go off in the playoffs. I don't see it. I don't remember if you there was, I want to say halfway through his first season, he had a big win, like his first season, Mike Elko with A&M, and he went on the podium and he's like, oh yeah, this is just for everyone's awareness. This isn't a fake school. This is a real school with real players and real. I was like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody thought that they were a fake school.
I don't know. Yeah. Like what? Yeah. Anyway, congratulations, Mike Elko. He had a hell of a season last year. Had a hell of a season. 11-1 is awesome. Historic season. Still
historic season.
Not a great showing in the playoffs, huh? God. Oh my God. If there was not a better segue from mediocrity to mediocrity. Mike Norvell. Norvell.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah. Florida State, I actually am not a Florida State hater at all. I love Florida State. I think they have the coolest jerseys. Jameis Winston is the GOAT. He's a college football legend. He's a college football icon, actually. I would even go as far to say. The lobster situation, I'll never forget the stories that came out of that guy. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's crazy because
and he won a natty.
That wouldn't even, he won a natty. That wouldn't even have happened today with NIL.
Could you
know
imagine?
What I mean? Like that, yeah. Everybody would be like, "What is this story that we're even talking?" Like, that's just crazy.
That team was stacked. He had like
so much.
He had Kelvin Benjamin and he had Dalvin Cook. I mean, he had a freaking insanely stacked team. I don't know. Let's look at them today. Did you know we're going into Mike Norvell's 7th season?
Yeah.
With Florida State? 7. Yeah.
That's crazy, actually.
Could you imagine if they didn't have that stacked roster in 24? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, we already went over this in the season. Before we get into the transfer portal stuff, we already went over this. Like, the staff, like the administration basically came out and they were like, yeah, we're going to give Mike Norvell one more year because financially
the buyout is insane.
We would go bankrupt.
That's what I was just checking. They would have to pay 85% of his contract.
Yeah, so they're just kind of like, yeah, he can play for another year. Sure, you can coach for another year.
Money.
They gave him a lot of money. They gave him a lot of money. And honestly, in 24, like they all thought it was worth it. And then sorry, it was 23, right? It was 23. In 23 they really thought. And then in 24 happened. And then 25, I mean, really, I was like, what is happening?
Dumpster fire.
They beat Alabama and then down the shitter, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Very unfortunately, right? I don't know if we're on the conversation of coaching staff, that is just not it. I'm looking at this coaching staff and this is just not it, right?
No way.
Gus Malzahn, he's not He's not calling the plays anymore there, is he? This after that
I don't
after
think so. I
that
think he's
after
gone.
that I'm hoping he's gone. This is telling me Tim Harris Jr. is now the offensive coordinator. I don't know. The coaching staff, I have zero faith in this coaching staff. Okay, cool. Let's look at their transfer portal. Quintravion Wisner. Huge, by the way. Awesome pickup.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's see if it's going to address any of the issues. They lost a starting D tackle, 2 starting safeties. They lost half of their sack and tackle for loss production in 2025. Mm-hmm. Half. And you got Quintravion Wisner? My question is when you are losing, like they lost the number of people, I don't know.
When you're getting beat up.
I mean, you are losing major players on your defense. Starters. I don't understand, why are we not going more aggressive? Do you think that he's complacent and he knows he's untouchable at this point? How about this? Here's a better question for you. Is there any conceivable way he's getting 6 wins this season? We don't even need to wait until another episode. I know the answer. It's no.
It's no.
It's no. They lost so many players. I'm looking at these moves in the portal. It is just not it. These players are not. And there's no disrespect to the coaching staff. They had an undefeated season at Florida State, and they won the ACC championship. I just don't have faith in this program right now. I don't. With these portal moves, with the big splash move as you get picking up Quintravion Wisner, that is not it.
Yeah, I mean, the wide receiver room is like, even if we were just to focus on the offense, like you got Ashton Daniels, that's your new quarterback, which is great. Who does he have to help him out? I mean, Wisner's great. I'm a big fan of him. I really think he's an excellent running back. I think he's really good. He's great, as a receiving back, third down back. But
hold on. Are we actually excited about Ashton Daniels? It really
no, that's what I'm saying.
We were excited about Tommy Castellanos.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even I didn't even bring up because for me it's like everyone was hype. And he talked shit about Alabama and he backed it up. And then they won like 3 games, man. And they had players. Deuce Robinson, what's his name? That wide receiver is like 6'7".
He's still there. He's still there, yeah.
I mean, they have guys. They
had a speedy Squirrel. They had Squirrel White, I believe, right?
Right? Yeah.
They had They had him as well. He's gone.
He was the guy who almost got trampled at UVA, right?
Yeah.
When he didn't get that catch.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm really worried about this team.
I just don't see much that they did on and like you said, the defensive side of the ball.
They lost so much.
You're in a conference now. Say what you want about the ACC, but that's if.
You have to play Miami. Florida State's playing Miami. They're going to make sure.
Play Miami.
They're going to make sure.
And they're like the ACC is kind of similar to the Big 12 in the sense where they have players that can produce offense. Like Virginia is able to put points on the board. They were one of the better offensive teams. Duke had Darian Mensah. I know he's gone now. He's at Miami. That's gonna be that's gonna be so sick. But back to Florida State. You got Louisville as well. Like all these teams that are just really like have like some of the best offensive
they play
players
at
in the
Alabama.
country.
They play at Alabama this year too.
Oh, they do this year?
Oh yeah. And they're hosting SMU early. Their schedule's tough, actually. They have UVA, Alabama, SMU, Louisville, at Miami, at Louisville, hosting Clemson, at Pittsburgh, hosting. I mean, they're going to have a very tough schedule, actually. They have a tough schedule. Florida State is not in a position to get 500, but we can save that for
I think it's just the past 2-3 years hasn't done them any favors in the portal. Their performance the past 2-3 years, because like, if I'm entering the portal, there's just so many other options now. Like, if you want to go to a place that has nice weather and is sunny, you could go to Miami, you could go to Florida. If you want to stay in the ACC, there's plenty of other options too that you could go to that have performed better. And I just don't know. Like, it just really all comes down to Norvell. And I think that if you really want to turn this program around, you do have to get rid of him. But the money situation is just insane. Like they need some boosters to come together. They need their NIL guys to come together and make something happen. And I think he can't afford. There's no way that he has another season where he doesn't win at least like 6 games, 7 games. Like if he wins only 6 games, I really do think he's gone. Like this is not a school that is fine with mediocrity. This is Florida State. This is a storied program. You
Well,
said so yourself.
I
You said so
mean,
yourself though. Natty Ship. They had Jameis Winston, Deion Sanders. I mean, they've had so many historic years. There's a reason why they had a rivalry against Miami. You know what I mean? Because those two schools were dominating the ACC and at one point dominating college football. That's not the case anymore. They're an afterthought. They're a joke. This is really bad.
yeah.
And I mean, you said it best, dude. Like, Contravion's a great running back, but that can't be the best thing that you got.
Really, the most confusing game of all time to me will be the Florida State Alabama game from last season. It will never make sense.
I mean,
to
dude,
me.
I really got to give it to Castellanos. I think it was him and the fact that there was just this unpredictability about that whole Florida State team. They just really didn't know how to defend them. I don't think they were expecting Castellanos to do what he was doing. But yeah, that game,
It just doesn't make any sense.
insane.
It makes no sense to me. I mean, I mean, the way that Alabama ended up going through their season, and then I don't know. I don't know.
They had a better
weird.
D line last year too.
They did.
So
I don't know. Very interesting. Florida State. Here we go. 2026. Year 7.
And I like what you said about the they lost all their sack leaders and their tackle for loss. Yeah, it's
50% of their negative
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
That's a
big
beautiful
loss.
stat. Yeah.
That's gonna be bad.
That's great.
That's gonna be bad. This last school.
This is an interesting one. You lead, please. But yeah, this is I'm curious about this one.
I'm very curious about this one too. Okay. Golish. Alex Golish. What a name, by the way. What's the background on that name? Do we know?
I don't know. He
Eastern
looks like he might be
European.
like Irish, kind
No,
of.
he's
Yeah.
dude, he's Viking. He looks like a Viking, dude.
Yeah, he does.
Does he not? Look it up.
He's got the red hair too.
Alex
Doing our
Golish.
Googles.
The guy is scary looking, I'm not gonna lie. He kind of stands with like a presence. He was at Tennessee. You can fact check me on that. He was offensive coordinator at Tennessee. Ends up getting
Yes, correct.
He gets the gig at USF, and he's only there for a year, right?
He was at UCF first, and then Tennessee.
he went to
and he was
UCF.
there for a year or two.
Okay.
And then South Florida. But yeah. I mean,
Only
yeah,
one
you're
year.
tracking
He
right,
did
yeah.
one season at USF.
1 season at and then UCF,
And now-
and then 2 years at Tennessee, then the head coach at USF.
For what? 1 year?
2 years.
He was there for 2 years.
3 years. Excuse me.
3 years.
So he was there
Why
for
did
3
I
years.
feel like he was 1 year.
7-6, 7-6, 9-3.
9-3. He finishes strong. It's USF. I mean, they have. You know what I'll say? The only time I ever watched him play was when he played against Alabama, and he would put up a fight. Actually, dude would put up a fight against Alabama. I mean, clearly, if he wants to be, if he has the players and he has a little bit of the hype, that's really what it felt like. All he needed last season with USF. It felt like he just needed a little bit of hype, and they came out swinging. I don't know if you remember, their week 1 matchup was against Boise State. I remember this. I wanted to gamble on the game. It was like week 0 or whatever. I wanted to gamble on the game, and I was just like, it's such a weird game. I don't want to put money on. Boise State was like 2 touchdown favorites. USF ended up smoking them. It was Byron Brown's big opening. He had a crazy game both with his legs and throwing. I mean, there was so much hype behind the team. They end up going 9-3. That's crazy. That's awesome. To do that with USF is like, I feel like it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They are losing a number of players. Auburn is losing. Actually, I would say, I already said this on the pod. It's the best wide receiver, arguably going to be the best wide receiver in the country. Cam Coleman will be spoken in line with Jeremiah Smith come 2026. If he has a competent offense around him, he will be in the same conversation as Jeremiah Smith. You can quote me on that. Deuce Knight is gone.
That's big. Okay, I like it.
And they also lost Eric Singleton. Eric Singleton had a pretty good season, actually. Had a great season. He has the speed. He's the speed guy they brought in from Georgia Tech the year before. He's out. He's now going to Florida. And they lost a couple of key, like I would say, not. I mean, what's the position groups? Cornerback. Are we putting that with the flashy groups? What is it? What did you call it?
Yeah, positions.
Skill position groups. That's hilarious. So those skill position, they lost some key skill position groups. They lost their wide receiver room is kind of thinned out a little bit too.
Yes.
Just naturally as a result. I don't know what to think about this team. Is there enough in play right now for Alex Golesh to be able to have a successful season at Auburn? I think it's going to be a rocky start. I'm not going to lie. This is his first foray into the SEC. This is the big leagues. It's not like he's heading into the Big 12 or he's heading into the ACC where he has a little bit of like, okay, the competition's not going to be Alabama into Georgia, into Florida, into Tennessee. I don't know. What do we think? What are we thinking? I want to hear what you think.
They lost a lot.
They lost so
like you were
much.
Just saying. They
mean,
lost
it's a lot.
They lost all their wide receivers. They lost some guys on the defensive side of the ball. It's gonna be really like dude, all their wide receivers are gone, and they had like 5 4-star wide receivers into the portal. Like Auburn had some guys at that wide receiver position, but you got Byron Brown, and he's a playmaker. We'll see what he's able to do with the wide receivers that he does have now. Bryson Washington, they got him from Baylor too, the running back. He's like a little speedster. But man, I mean, I think what I will say is it seems like they're kind of just trying to, build that foundation again. It seems like I think that, that school and that program understands that they're not going to see immediate success, especially in a conference like the SEC. But I don't think that they got off to the start maybe that they wanted to. I don't think that, that just the room in general, I don't see anything that really stands out like on either side of the ball. They did, considering that, they did have they have a brand new coach coming in and all that. No, actually, they did lose a lot. I really don't know. This is gonna be an interesting school to watch. I think that there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Byron Brown. I do wish that he had some more help around him. But hey, I mean, you want to be in the SEC, you want to be in the big leagues. This is kind of what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I'm looking down at the roster like
they got a lot of guys from
USF. That's exactly what I was gonna say. They picked up a lot of. So it's the same kind of. It's the same thing. It's the same
pattern that we've been seeing.
It's the same thing that happened to Iowa State. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know what this is. I do want to see their schedule real quick. Let's just take a gander.
Oh, God. I'm scared. I'm scared for Auburn.
Let's see their schedule. Week 1 at Baylor. Week 2, Ball State. Week 3, South Alabama. Week 4 at Oklahoma. Week 5 at A&M.
Oh, Lord.
Bye week 7 versus Georgia, week 8 versus Mizzou.
Oh.
And then you're at Arkansas.
What?
It's not too bad.
It sounds awful. You're an idiot.
At Oklahoma. Okay, so let's talk about it. At A&M, right? We just said that they're not going to be as strong as they were this past year.
That's true, but it's
Georgia.
Home of the 12th man.
Home of the 12th man.
It's Kyle Field.
Georgia's Georgia, but you got them at home.
Okay.
Mizzou's kind of, anything can happen, and you got them at home. You're at Arkansas. You could beat Arkansas.
At Arkansas.
Then you got Kentucky at home. Then you're at Vandy. They lost their guy, Pavia. I'm really curious to see what that school's going to do. And then, you play Alabama at the end of the year, but that's at home. And what have we been saying about Alabama?
Fraudulent.
I need to see the line on this school. Because I don't even think they're going to be that great. I don't think they're going to be a strong program, but.
What do you think? If it's at let's be realistic. Let's be very realistic.
Okay, how about this? I'll look up the line, but what do you think it's at before I look it up?
The line is probably, based on the schedule you gave me, I would say 6.5.
Let's see. I would say, before I check, I'll say 6.5. I'll say 6.5.
Because it's just I think they want everyone to question whether it's going to be 7-win season or not. I think that's
Auburn's at 6.5.
Because it just makes sense.
A lot of the teams that they're playing are at 6.5 too. Mizzou, Vandy are at 6.5. Oklahoma's at 7.5.
I'm taking the under. No.
Simple as that.
No. No. Stop. Scratch it. Let's rip it. Let's hit the over. Over
You
6.5.
see the vision, right? You see the vision.
I do see it. I see it now. I see it now unfolding before me. I think what I see is Alex Golish getting a lot of low expectations, just like we had. But I think you're right. That's exactly the way I looked at USF last year. I was like, there's no way. But then a part of me was like, I don't know. Boise State, do I want to touch it? Anyway, Auburn, we are still fun. I mean, we're still looking forward, and it's going to be very fun to watch all these schools, like how their season plays out. I mentioned that our next episode, we're going to start our kind of like draft series. We want to prep you guys for the draft the same way we're prepping ourselves. We should do a live draft episode.
I would love to.
We should do it. I think we should do it. And I think even if we do stream it, end up streaming it live on YouTube, which we could do, or if we decide to just record it and then snip out like our reactions to each of the draft picks, we can do that too. I think that would be fun. But yeah, we're gonna do something. I think we should do something epic for the draft. Let's get these guys some enjoyable content, huh? Some really enjoyable content.
Yeah. We should do something. We should
talk to me.
We should get like our own little like panel going.
That's what we should do.
You know?
And suits.
I got a guy that we could bring. I think that's what I'm saying. We should get down to business.
We'll talk. We're gonna talk.
Oh, you like it? Yeah.
We should do something epic because we have some time, and it was like a lot of time for us to prep.
Yeah.
Done deal. Okay, we'll talk later. What am I missing? Am I forgetting anything? Like, comment,
Mendoza's gonna be
subscribe.
A bust. No, that's all. That's it. What?
Like, comment, subscribe. Mendoza's not gonna be a bust. You're crazy. I love the kid. You don't think he's built for it? Oh my god, I'm really worried.
We'll save it.
We'll save it. We're gonna do a QB episode. Ty Simpson or Mendoza. Apparently, that's all the options we got. Okay. Until next time, guys. Episode 50.
Deuces.
Out.